of you. This is NorthCap University located in Gurugram, India. And we are hosting a series of webinars for giving a lot of knowledge dissemination to different stakeholders, academicians, students, fraternity, and the corporates who can have some questions, who can have doubts about the different topics. It's a very contemporary topic related to the blockchain and what is the hue and cry about it. So we have our very senior faculty to take you through. She's in the School of Engineering and Technology. So over to you, Dr. Preeti.
Thank you so much, Sona ma'am. So, good morning, everyone. I'm Dr. Preeti Sharma, and we'll talk about the blockchain technology. Like you all know that this is a new revolution in the technology area, right? So, first of all, just give me a second. I'm sharing one screen, and we'll watch one video, and we'll see like how and why it is a revolution. Just give me a second. I'm just sharing my screen. So I hope my screen is visible to everyone. I think Miss Manisha is there in the meeting and wants to say something. Is that so? Because you are not audible, and I can see like if you want to say something and if you are not audible, you can just share your thoughts in the chat box also.
No, ma'am, your screen is visible. Uh, I forgot to switch off my mic. That is why it may be showing that. I will switch off
Okay,
my
okay.
mic now.
Okay, sure. Thank you so much. So let's start the session and let's go through this technology, and I'll tell you about this technology and the uses and the applications of this technology in the various fields. So let's watch one video before that. So this is a video when they are talking about the internet when it just came. Okay, so can you see that like they are talking, this is the video from CNBC channel, the very renowned channel. So they are talking about the internet when it just came, right? Like whether it is a revolution, how it is going to change our future and everything. The same way nowadays people are talking about blockchain technology, like how it is going to change our future. Same way the blockchain is now in the baby phase and is going to be the new revolution in the technology area. So before I start with the concept, I just want you to know about some blockchain statistics, like basically blockchain market outlook. Like, can you see that global blockchain spend CAGR by 2024? How much is this has grown? North America, and how much blockchain will boost global GDP by 2030? That is in dollar 1.76 trillion, and so on. Like top blockchain spenders worldwide, like banking, the grown up area in the blockchain, and the application of the blockchain is in banking right now. Like it has spread in a huge way. Next top blockchain spenders by country or region. So USA has spent $5.20 billion and so on. So you can see that already universe is accepting this technology, and why it is accepting and how it is different from the existing. technology because it is not giving the bandwidth to the existing technology. It is just replacing the existing technology. How? We'll see further. First of all, I'll show you like what will be the blockchain's impact 5 years from now. Like different CEOs from the different industries are talking about the blockchain. Like 5 years from now, it is possible that a central bank will hold Bitcoin on its balance sheet, making the cryptocurrency increasingly accessible and liquid. So nowadays, we can see a very few bank is like marketing with or dealing with the cryptocurrency, but we can see sooner like central bank will hold Bitcoin in its balance sheet also. Godwin also expect that blockchain technology will be particularly valuable in the finance, healthcare, insurance industries, and many more, obviously. And obviously, blockchain could aid in pushing that value back into the user's hand by decentralizing data. Now there comes a term, decentralizing. What does that mean and how it is different from the distributed and the centralized system? We'll see further. Now, first, coming to the topic, I'll show you the demand market of blockchain nowadays. Like blockchain engineer, the demand market is huge, huge. There are vacancies in the market. Despite of layoff, there are many and many vacancies still there in the market for the blockchain engineer, security engineer. All the engineers are like they are in lesser in demand as compared to the blockchain engineer. So we can see that the demand is huge. Also development in industries like those are most advanced in developing through blockchain today. Finance sector is the sector who has developed in a huge way through the blockchain technology. Also, many sectors are also adapting this technology like industry sector, energy and utilities, healthcare, government, retail and customer, entertainment and media. Everyone is adapting this technology, but the thing is that the huge advance in the development is in the finance sector. So now comes the topic, what is blockchain? I hope you all have heard about the cryptocurrency, blockchain, distributed system, decentralized system, everything. So blockchain is a technology that permits transaction to be gathered into blocks. Basically, it is a digital ledger where we store all the transactions in the form of blocks. Cryptographically chains blocks in chronological order and allows the resulting ledger to be accessed by different servers. Now what happens, each and every block will have the same sort of data. Each and every transaction will be stored in all the blocks so that it is accessible to the user also and to the blockchain provider also. So what are blocks? It is a digital container for transactions, contracts, property title, etc. Transaction, whatever transaction in the form of like we are having transactions from one place to another place or any sort of change, everything will be stored in the blocks. So it is a digital container with who stores the transaction, contracts and everything. Also, it contains timestamp, hash pointer to the previous block, transaction data. Now in a blockchain, we have a huge number of blocks. So how we can recognize a block? Through its hash pointer. One block will contain the timestamp, like how much time it took to create a block, right? And the transaction data, the whole set of data, and the hash pointer to the previous block. Like it is connected to the previous block, so it will also contain the hash pointer of that previous block also. So now, why we call it as a distributed ledger? Basically, it is a distributed ledger. There is a difference between distributed and decentralized also. Like distributed is just the subset of decentralized network. Basically, blockchain works in the decentralized network where there is no central system who is holding the whole database. Each and every block is independent, but is connected in the blockchain. So blockchain can be viewed as a distributed ledger of transactions stored as immutable blocks. Now there comes a term, immutable. right? What do you understand by immutable? That means like you cannot go back and cannot do any sort of change in any block. If you are doing any sort of change in any block, it will be added as the new block in the block. So it is immutable, like no going back, right? So what are the features of blockchain? Faster settlement, secure, decentralized, census, distributed, unanimous, immutable. So faster settlement means like if we are incorporating blockchain in different fields, for example, if we are incorporating it in insurance field, usually what happens in the existing technologies, you need to do many documentation, you need to go to the insurance company also, and you need to do some sort of formalities. But in blockchain, if you have smart contracts, if you have distributed system, so the settlement will be automatically done through the smart contracts. How and like how it helps will see in further slides. More secure than the centralized network. Obviously, it is transparent and immutable, so it is more secure. Decentralized, as I have already told you, there is no central system. Sense is like, obviously, nobody can just come and just can add a block. There is a particular algorithm who is just taking care of this technology, that the sort of blocks which anyone is adding, miners are adding in the blockchain, they should go through one test or one work or something, whatever is the procedure. There are different procedures. So the block should go through that particular procedure, and then only it will be added in the blockchain. Distributed, I've already told you, the data is distributed and the data is there in all the blocks, the same sort of data, unanimous and immutable, that I have already explained. So now coming to the decentralized system, first we see what is a centralized system. As you all know, centralized system, all users are connected to a central network owner or server. Nowadays, we are almost everywhere. We be it in bank or insurance company or the food company, anything. So the central owner stores data which other user can access, and also user information. So basically what happens for, let's take example of a bank. So what happens is there is one server who is holding all the sort of transactions, account details and everything. The user has to give some sort of request to the bank that I need to see this kind of data and how the transactions are happening, everything. So there is one central system who is holding all sort of transaction, and others are just user, and they can just see that information which the centralized system allows them to see, right? A centralized system is easy to set up and can be developed quickly. Obviously, they just need one server and others are just users. So there is no such thing that it will take long to set up or can like develop. There is nothing sort of things. It is easy to develop also. So here we can see the example, like in banks allow money transfer between two accounts. Currency printed and controlled by government. Networks, also certificate authorities are holding the network. So in centralized system, we have some sort of centrally system for all these transactional process. So a trusted third party is required in all the cases. When we talk about all these three cases, so there we need one trusted third party. If the transaction is happening between two accounts, so no account can rely on another account directly in the centralized system. They need a trusted third party on which both can rely on. So now what are the problems with centralized system? Large database maintained by the central party attract hackers. Now hackers know that they just need one server loophole and they just can track or they just can hack the whole system. Single point of failure. If server fails, the system fails. Highly dependence on the network connectivity. Obviously, you all need high connectivity throughout the day when you are working on the server. Difficult to maintain. Like obviously, if we are if one system only is handling the huge database, it is difficult to maintain all the database on one system. It is just not so easy. Now, how we have shifted from centralized system to decentralized system, like in 2005, we are having closed and centralized networks. Like if we are accessing centralized network also, it is very close and we need to take sort of many sort of permissions and everything. Nowadays, we are using open access network, but also we are using centralized system. If also it is open accessible, but we also need some sort of sign in process or some sort of like we need to give request and everything. So in 2000 now, how we see a future to 2025 and beyond, we are going to switch from open access network with centralized system to open access network with distributed cloud. Now we know that centralized level, one system is holding all the data, all the transactional detail, but now we are slowly shifting to the distributed cloud where all the system will have all the sort of data, set of data, and everyone can access anytime from anywhere. So why we have switched from centralized system to decentralized system? Obviously, fault tolerant. If some sort of fault arises in the centralized system, it is like difficult to handle because there is only one system. And if we are having all sort of data in each and every system, so fault tolerant would be easier. Attack tolerant would be like, obviously, it would be more attack tolerant. Nobody can just think about easily to attack on all the systems, do attack on all the systems and just can hack the data. Fast, no monopoly. There is no like sort of things ki I am the owner or I have the access. Each and every block is equally uh, decentralized. Cheaper also, like there is no need to have a good or a high paid software to for the server. There is no need of that also. So how we see centralized ledger and the distributed ledger. In centralized ledger, as we can see, there is one central system, like we can say it as a bank, where clients are just transferring money from one client to another, but they need bank as the trusted authority. In distributed ledger, they can directly do the transaction from one node to another node, and they don't need any sort of third party, trusted third party to do the transaction. If they know it is a part of the blockchain, they know it is a secure node and they can do the transaction securely. There is no need that there is no need to take any sort of transaction or permission and the third party permission. Now you can see that it comes like we can see two diagrams. One is for centralized system and one is for distributed network. What happens in the centralized system? First is CEO, who all, if we talk about the organization, first is CEO, who is holding all sort of data, all sort of control. Then comes top management, then middle level management, even lower management, non-management, lowest non-management. It comes like that. And the access of data is segregated according to the level of management. Each and every management will not have the same set of data. They are having the set of data which like CEO is giving access to, right? But in distributed network, we have users, developer, exchange, miners, other users, other miners, each and developers also, each and every member, each and every node will have the same set of data. So it is accessible to all. Nobody can hold the data. Nobody can control the data. And nobody can say that this is my network and this is my rule and you have to follow that. Each and every member is in the same point. So like we have studied a lot about centralized system and decentralized system. So if there is any sort of question, you just can ask. Otherwise, let me move ahead. Okay, so let's continue. How does a distributed ledger work? Now, how it works. So basically what happens is, whatever transaction is happening, first a transaction is requested. Now, that particular transaction is broadcasted via network. Now, it will be broadcasted to each and every block in the blockchain. Now, network validates the transaction using cryptography. Now, there are some sort of consensus algorithm, some sort of technique, some sort of cryptography. Network will validate each and every block, will see whether this transaction which is coming, which is broadcasted, is valid or not. We have different types of algorithm also. We have different type of cryptographic algorithm which we can apply to the network, and they can just validate that particular transaction. It is not that it is open accessible, so anyone can come and anyone can do any sort of transaction. No, there is a particular process. Transaction is represented online as a block. Now, whatever transaction, if it is validated using cryptography or consensus algorithm, that is now being added as a block in the blockchain. Now, block is added to the existing blockchain. The blockchain is existing, right? Only the transaction is validated, and now the new block is added and the transaction is complete. So this is the scene how we add one block, or how we do any sort of transaction in the blockchain, and how it is added in the blockchain. See, in like more detail, if we take an example, now a request to append a transaction to the supply chain. If we talk about the supply chain management, so it is one request. Whatever the transaction you are doing to the supply chain, whether you see about the booking or some transportation sort of, or the network sort of, or the shipping sort of, anything, the request will be sent. And now the request, if the request is validated, a block created after every component of a transaction is completed and validated using proven trusted algorithm. As I have already told you, it will be validated through the trusted algorithm only. And a verified transaction can contain, and the verified transaction can contain data events and the smart contracts. Now that transaction, according to the transaction, according to the steps happened, we have deployed the smart contracts, and how it will be executed, everything will be there in the smart contracts. Everything will be automated in the blockchain only. You just need to do transaction, and what will happen with the transaction, it all depends on the smart contracts you have deployed in that particular blockchain, or the existing blockchain will have some sort of smart contracts, and they will just automatically will do the transaction and will create the block according to the requirement. Now, block created and appended to the blockchain, and the transaction is complete. So I'm using the term smart contracts again and again. So what is a smart contract? Basically, it is a code, or we can say the digital license or digital agreement between the two parties. Like if one step is happened, what is going to be the output of that step, and how it will be automated, and what transaction sort of things will happen with that transaction, and what will be the output. Everything is there in the smart contract. It is a digital contract between the two parties or the two nodes. Like if we talk about the insurance, vehicle insurance, so there will be the agreement between two parties, insurer also and the insurance company also. Like if it happens, or this sort of accident will happen, you just need to give this sort of proof, and the claim settlement will be done automatically according to the smart contract deal. So it is very easy, and we are saving a lot of time. So what are the advantages of ledger? It can be used without a central authority, as I have already told you. It can be used to create values. It can be used to transfer value. It can be used to record those transfer. Now, it is not that we need to have, or we need to just, we can just use the cryptocurrency we have. We can create our cryptocurrency also. We can create our value also. We can issue the asset, different type of asset in the form of NFTs also. So we have many things in blockchain. We can just transfer value or the ownership of asset through the smart contract. We are having that agreement, like to whom and to how we can just transfer the ownership of that particular asset. And everything will be there in the blockchain, whether you are transferring the ownership, whether you are taking the ownership, or whether you are taking any sort of asset, everything will be there in the blockchain. So this is another like P2P network, peer-to-peer. No centralized system is required. This is the same thing. Immutable ledger, as I have already told you, the blockchain retains data via transaction. Once written to the chain, the blocks can be changed, but it is extremely difficult to do so. Now, the thing is that we cannot say that it is 100% secure. There is a possibility to hack the system, but the thing is that if you are doing any sort of change, like each and every block is having previous block's hash. If you are doing any sort of change, all the hashes will be changed, and you need to change all the hashes. And if you are changing one hash, estimated it takes estimately it takes 10 minutes to change one block's hash. So think about it, like how difficult it is. Like blocks in the blockchain could be in thousands or could be in lakhs, so it depends. The transactions are immutable. We can say that we cannot go back and do changes because hashes are there, and transaction, whatever is happening, will be broadcasted, so we can just catch on the hacker. So why blockchain? We have different sort of reasons, like it brings trust, decentralization, remove middlemen, as I have already explained you. Properties, peer-to-peer communication, there is no third party required, more secure, more transparent, there is no hidden information in the blockchain. Immutable, we cannot go back. Consensus based, that if any transaction is happening, that particular transaction should be validated through the consensus. Now, what are the applications of the blockchain? Like payment processing and money transfer, digital identity. We can then have our own digital identity, and we just blockchain will provide one. A blockchain will basically provide one private key or any sort of certificate. So through that particular digital identity will be we will be identified. Digital voting can be happen, supply chain monitoring, copyright and royalty protection. Now in supply chain also, from where that particular particular goods are coming, and then where it is going, and what is like informed to us whether it is right or not, everything will be transparent and we can check on the blockchain. So blockchain for business, like it can be there in the huge business also, like international bank, or how we can use that. We can have the commercial finance LOB, services LOB, and everything. So we can use this in the business also. Now we are having different types of blockchain, public blockchain and the private blockchain. So in public blockchain, we are having open P2P network. Participants can join and leave without notification. If any participant is joining, it will just directly broadcast the transaction for the validation. And if the participant wants to leave, he or she can leave without any notification. Anonymous, untrusted participant can also join. The network typically has an incentivizing mechanism to encourage more participants to join the network. So more and more participants are joining that public blockchain. What are the drawbacks? Substantial amount of computational power is necessary to maintain a distributed ledger at a large scale. Now, all sort of participants are joining, so we need that particular computational power to maintain that particular ledger. In private blockchain, we have closed permission network. Now, basically, the participants are trusted, identified, also regulated control. It is not that sort of control that we had like talk about that particular in centralized system. We don't have that, but yes, there is some sort of control where we can control who is coming and who is leaving. Small to medium scale distributed ledger, we don't need that computational power also, and the access control mechanism could vary. So it depends on the existing participant, future participants, or consortium could make the decision instead. So in short, I have just written the difference between the blockchain and private. So it is same, which I have already explained. Now, in abroad, we have two types also, permissionless and permission. So public comes in permissionless. Hybrid is the permissionless private blockchain, we can say. But in permission blockchain, we have private and consortium. Consortium is controlled by the group, same as the private blockchain where we need permission. But in private, it is controlled by one authority. So block, I have already told you, it is a digital ledger. So see, this is how our blockchain looks like. Genesis block, this is the first block we are having in the blockchain. So in the blockchain, each and every particular block, which is the first block, we call it as the Genesis block. Then block 2 comes, and then comes block 3, and so on. So see, as I've already told you, it will contain some sort of data. Just I have written one example, some sort of data, and then previous hash, as it is first block, so hash will be 000, and then it will create the hash with some sort of hashing algorithm. Each and every blockchain platform will have different hashing algorithm. It depends, and next block 2, like Ethereum will have the ETH hash algorithm to generate hashes. So previous hash, it will contain the previous hash. See, it is similar. And then it will create its own hash, and it will be there in the next block. So on. This is how the transaction happens in the blockchain. So Genesis block, as I have already told you, it is the first block, and it will contain these sort of data. So these are some basic terms which is there in the blockchain. What is index, what is timestamp, what is hash, what is previous hash, data, nuns. So one block will have these sort of data, these sort of things. So index is the position of the block in the blockchain. Timestamp is the time when the particular block was created. Hash, this is the numerical value that uniquely identifies data, just like our fingerprints. Previous hash, it is the hash of the previous block, data, whatever transactions happen. Nuns, it is a number used to find a valid hash. Now, basically, we just provide one number, and through the hashing algorithm, we get a valid hash. So we call it as nuns. So why blockchain matters? Now we have talked about blockchain, its types, and the importance. So why blockchain matters more than you think. Now I will show you one video which shows like how different CEOs or the renowned renowned persons are talking about the blockchain. I will. It is just near about 6 minutes video, but I will just cut short and will show you. So I'm just moving it forward. So now let's see some career opportunities also. Okay, so we have some different renowned person talking about the blockchain. I hope you are now aware about the blockchain and why it is important and why it is the revolution of the technology now. So we have talked about all these things. In case if you have any question, you may ask. Is there any? Okay, so moving ahead, we'll see different use cases and the applications of the blockchain. Like we can have a blockchain in trade finance, supply chain financing, KYC document management, cross-border payments, and employee loyalty and the rewards. So basically, in trade finance, I have already told you banks are opting for the cryptocurrencies and the blockchain also, like the decentralized system, supply chain financing. I have already explained in the example KYC documents management. A leading stock market exchange in India is exploring blockchain for management of KYC documents so that the database will be transparent and immutable also. Cross-border payments, like you all know, if we are sending money from one country to another, it takes 2 to 3 days probably or more to transfer money from one country to another in some cases. But in blockchain, if you are dealing with the cryptocurrencies, it will be done in few seconds, like we do through UPI. And also, while we talk about employee loyalty and reward, so if one employee will have the digital identity, and if he or she switches the place, so we can just track the loyalty and the rewards and everything with that blockchain data. So see, we can see some more applications of blockchain: digital IDs, Bitcoin, Internet of Things, real estate, voting, payments and transfer. We have talked about a lot in this area. So how we can add blockchain in healthcare? So when we talk about patient or hospitals, sometimes what happens is patient is just struggling from switching one hospital to another, and each and every hospital will ask that particular patient to have some sort of test. If he or she has already done those tests, the hospital will ask to do it again. So if that particular patient will have the digital identity in the blockchain, so that each and every hospital can just access that digital identity through the public key, and they can just access the record of the patient and when the tests are done and from which hospital those are done, so that no can just ask to do all those tests again and again. If there is a data stored in the blockchain, the patient can also track the data, that what is happening with the reports, and in which lab they are testing and in which lab, everything will be transparent. So there is like transparent data for both hospital also and the patient also. So the history will be tracked very transparently in both the cases. So this is how we can add, and this is how it is very useful in the healthcare sector. In supply chain management, all these things like importing the data, like purchasing the order, importing the license, importing custom clearance, manifest, shipment status, everything, like who is the carrier, who is exporting or who is importing, from where it is coming from, where it is going, forwarder, export custom, export bank, everything will be done through the smart contract. You just need to deploy the smart contract, you just need to have that digital agreement, and everything will be automated. You do you just sit down and you just see how it is happening, where it is going, and everything is sorted. You don't need to do documentation and again and again, and everything is transparent. So you are just can sit tension free. Right. In finance also, when we talk about the conventional trade financing, see, it will take all these steps: insurance, then exporter, then transportation company, importer, bank. Each and every node will have its own set of database, and it is very difficult to handle. It is very difficult to ask one database or one node to give something or to provide something. But if you see in the blockchain, we just have to have that smart contract, and everything is done automatically. So you don't need to worry about the payments. You don't need about to do. You don't need to worry about the paperwork. Everything will be done in the blockchain, and it will be done transparently. So what are the benefits of blockchain? Trust, decentralized. We have talked so many things about it in detail. So now in short, I will show you the blockchain revenue. So see, these countries have already adapted this technology, and see the graph is just increasing in each and every country, in each and every field. So it will just grow. It will just grow. So it is new revolution. Career in blockchain, you can see top 15 employers by number of blockchain related job offering. Nowadays, we are having these many job offerings in all the top employers. See that IBM is just recruiting many blockchain developers, Oracle, PwC, EY, Coinbase. Each and every employers are just hiring blockchain developers. So I have just shared some statistics of blockchain. We can just see in detail if you want. So I just will show you. See, this article will show you how blockchain has grown, how it has grown, what is the revolution, like what is the annual growth, like see, there are over 85 million Bitcoin block explorer blockchain.com wallet user worldwide as of June 2023. See the statistic. Banking, how it has grown. See this: banking, process manufacturing, discrete manufacturing, professional services, everything. See, spending on blockchain solution, like by 2024, it will be 19 billion. So business blockchain also, according to Deloitte's survey, 86% of people believe blockchain technology can enhance our integration toward more touchless business process. See this: companies adapting the blockchain network, like Adobe is adapting Ethereum, Allianz, Hyperledger. We have different frameworks for blockchain. These all are the framework of blockchain: Ethereum, Hyperledger, Coda, Superchain, MineHub, TradeLens, everything. Bitcoin is also one of the frameworks. See this. So have you seen that? So we have just grown in the blockchain industry, and we are still growing. So these are some statistics. So future scope also have like, I can show you one uh, LinkedIn post which will show you how blockchain is growing and what are the scopes in the blockchain. See, why is blockchain and what is the scope of the blockchain? Now see this. How does it work? I have already shown you which countries nowadays are using blockchain. It is according to KPMG survey: Argentina, Australia, Canada, China, France, Germany. You just type blockchain on internet and you'll get several posts of the blockchain hiring and the future with the blockchain, and everything you will get. See, scope of blockchain, and we can just merge two technologies: blockchain with AI, blockchain with IoT, and it will give the boom in the market. So can you see that the revolution of the blockchain? So this was that. So thank you so much. So I am done with the blockchain topic. So if you have any sort of query, any sort of question, or any sort of concern related to blockchain, you just can ask if you have that. So I must say, if you are thinking about the career perspective in blockchain, I can assure you that you will not sit jobless. You will be there, and you are going to be the part of next revolution in IT industry. So this is it from my side. Sona ma'am.
Yeah, so if anybody has any questions, you are free to ask. Anyone has any questions, you can put it on the chat also.
Hello,
Manisha, would you like to say anything?
yes, I have one question. What are the possible research areas in the field of blockchain? As I can say that I am doing PhD right now. So,
Okay.
but how to start with the blockchain field? What are the possible? What are the softwares available? What are the books available? If you can guide someone.
Okay. Miss Manisha, if you just can contact me personally, I can just tell you in detail. But yes, the thing is that the field of the blockchain is very vast. As you have seen, I have talked about the different applications of the blockchain, like how we can use it in supply chain. There is no such blockchain yet, which we can say that there are different frameworks of blockchain. You can incorporate any framework, let's say Bitcoin, let's say Ethereum, let's say IOTA. So you can incorporate, just first read about the frameworks of the blockchain in which you are interested, and then try to incorporate that in the existing industries, so that you can just replace the existing technology of that particular industry, and you can just counter that how blockchain is different from the existing and why it is more useful in that particular industry, so can anyone can adapt your idea or your software. So this is it. So if you want any sort of help in detail, so we can connect also.
So maybe Preeti, you can write your email ID in the chat box so that they can get in touch with you.
Yeah, sure. So this is my email ID. You can just contact me through this email, and we can just I can guide you in detail about in which area you can continue with your research.
Anything else by anyone? All right then. So we will call it a day. Thank you so much. Okay. Yes, Nalit, if you are interested in the certificate, just write to us. I'm sharing the email ID with you. You can write to us with your details and we'll provide the certificate to you. I'm just writing the email ID. You can make a note of it. You can send it on the on this your complete details and we will get the certificate issued. This will happen by the end of 31st of July. We are finishing the entire series. So all certificates are going to be issued after that. So whether you've attended one or many, depending on that, you will be sent it on your mail. So thank you very much. On behalf of NorthCap University, I'm really glad that you could come over. The recording of this will also be shared with you shortly. Thank you so much, Dr. Preeti, for such a wonderful session. I'm sure the participants were able to understand this topic much more in a very clear way in which you have explained it. So thank you, everyone, and have a good day.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Sona ma'am. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day.
Thank you.